How's it going, everybody? We have a very exciting video today because we have the exclusive release for the Scorpion kit. That's right, the newest member of the Insidious 6 team that is going to be our raid tech team. But this team is so much more than your traditional raid team. And it starts with this guy. It starts with where he is already being applied. There is another blog that goes kind of hand in foot with this video right now about the Infestation rework. And yes, Scorpion is going to be on that Infestation team. You can see at the last trait that he has there. Also on that blog, we see the reworks to Vulture and Shocker. So make sure you go check out the other video that just came out on this channel to see all those details, because it will impact how we look at Scorpion and his value. Other tags this guy has, though, we got Villain City. This is, of course, huge. If you do not have Odin unlocked yet, this guy becomes one of the auto picks for the Dark Dimension 8 journey. He's a brawler like we talked about, so he's going to have hard-hitting abilities. And he does have Spider-Verse Sinister 6, which, of course, he should, because they're kind of like the base traits. But I was a little concerned they wouldn't, because it opens up so much theory crafting. But he has it, and so we're going to see a lot of play with the Superior 6 team and the old Sinister 6 characters in War and Crucible. Of course, he got the Insidious 6 tag, and then he's got the Infestation tag. Now, we're going to touch on that other blog that came out. Honestly, I don't think enough was done for the Infestation team to make them a lock for war defense. I think the hard counters are definitely going to still hard counter them, especially with Scorpion coming in with a speed stat of 107. But with them all getting the speed stat upgrades, it's no longer going to be able to be these insane punch-ups with the hard counters. So if you put some value into this team, the enemy will have to respond in kind in order to beat it. So there's some interest there. We're going to touch on the Infestation tag for sure. But let's talk about that 107 speed stat. That is obviously a sign for concern when it comes to a new character. However, I will say, with that Sinister 6 tag, there's a lot of ways to circumvent this. And we did see with Vulture's rework, there's going to be some speed bar on spawn for this character as well, which is pretty cool. So, with the ability to either Terminator Rewind somebody for using him with the Superior 6 team, or with Vulture potentially giving him speed up on spawn, that 107 speed stat doesn't seem like the end of the world when we're plug and playing with the Superior and Sinister 6 members. So I'm not willing to write the character off because of that speed stat just yet. Let's see the rest of his kit, starting with the basic. Venomous Sting. Attack the primary target for 280% piercing. It'll chain to 2 adjacent targets for 280% piercing. And spread 3 negative effects, excluding stun, from the primary target to the secondary target. It's important to note, trauma cannot be spread, so it excludes trauma and stun, but lots of good debuffs still on the table. It could spread ability block, disrupt defense down, and bleeds. We're going to be talking about bleeds in this video for sure. His ISO attack's pretty boring. We got the primary target for 245% piercing. So we do have an AoE basic. This does start us towards the Raider trend, but we'll see what the rest of his kit has in store. Special, Acid Bath. Energy cost, 3 out of 3. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 260% piercing and apply 3 bleed. A very, very basic special attack, but it does have a low ability cost. If we read that other blog, we will know Shocker is giving energy to Insidious 6 members on his first turn, so this character will be able to start with his special, do his ultimate, and go right back to his special, so long as he is going before Shocker. So there's some interest there, and once again, we have a multi-hit attack. We got attacking primary and adjacent targets, but now we're playing bleed. So we're still kind of leaning towards Raider right now, but with those bleeds, we got to start thinking, hey, is this character going to get so much benefit from extra bleed damage? He's got to be a striker. We'll have to wait and see. Another important thing to note when we're talking about bleed damage is that ability level matters to a very, very big degree. So let's say this character's level 6 special is giving him 240% damage to primary and adjacents and still applying 3 bleed. Putting that T4 on this ability might still be worth it because it'll increase the amount those 3 bleeds are actually going to do by a pretty substantial amount. So keep that in mind when we're talking about bleed abilities. Let's head on over to the ultimate. So pretty basic, boring kit so far, but here we go. Energy cost for this ultimate ability called Spray. But okay, hold on. We gotta go for a second. These ability names are great. We got Spray and Pray for the ultimate. We got Acid Bath for the special. The art department killed it on this character's model. I cannot wait to see what the animation department does. I think there's a lot of potential here just to have some really cool in-game, beautiful animations, and they normally don't miss, so I'm very excited to see that. But let's talk about the ability. So energy cost 2 out of 5. This would make it a turn 3 ability, which is crazy, But again, Shocker will be giving energy, and even if Shocker goes before Scorpion, this would still be a turn 2 ability at that point. If this character has 2 Insidious 6 allies or 4 Infestation allies, then he will reduce the duration of Safeguard by 2 on all enemies, reduce the duration of all positive effects by 2 on all enemies with Bleed. I'll hide for the rest of this. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing, apply 3 bleed for 2 turns, and if this character has 2 Insidious 6 allies, this attack cannot be blocked. Now there's some important things to talk about here, and same thing with the passive. I'll read the entire thing first and then we're going to discuss it. 2 Insidious 6 allies. So if this character has 2 Insidious 6 allies, there are only 3 Insidious 6 characters in the game total. Scorpion, Hobgoblin, Superior Spider-Man. So he has to be with his entire 3-piece team in order to accomplish this, or with the 4 Infestation characters. This ultimate is an extremely powerful ability. Once again, if you go read that other blog, you'll know he'll be able to start with this in raids, and I think this is going to be absolutely crucial in raids. Now, because he needs 2 Insidious 6 characters, the math is rough for trying to tap into some of that old Sinister 6 magic. When we talk about Vulture's passive, he needs 2 Superior 6 members in order to steal speed up on spawn from the enemies, spread it to his team, and apply slow to the enemies, okay? So if Scorpion needs the 3 Insidious 6 members total, himself included, and then Vulture would be 4, Goblin could be our first Superior 6 member, that's 5, but we only get 5 characters, right? So unless one of the Insidious 6 characters gets the Superior 6 tag, then we are going to be locked out from that Vulture passive in War and in Crucible. And this would definitely hurt our chances here because we would love to tap into that Green Goblin Terminator Rewinds and the Vulture speed up on spawn. We, of course, would still be able to do, let's say, just Scorpion with Vulture, Goblin, and Craven and activate it. But we would lose out on this reducing duration of Safeguard. So it's going to be interesting what happens with the other tags for the characters coming to the game. I'm betting we're going to see something interesting because in the blog, which again you can check out on the other video, there is a direct call out to Scorpion possesses the Infestation trait. But then for Superior Spider-Man, so here's the exact words. Scorpion possesses the Infestation trait, allowing you to upgrade this War Defense squad to shore up your helicarrier. And then the line below is Superior Spider-Man's high speed make him a great update for the Superior 6 Cosmic Crucible squad. It does not flat out say Superior Spider-Man gets the Superior 6 trait. But both of their names start with Superior, so they better. And if that happens, then oh my god, the floodgates are open for theory crafting across the board. This ultimate would be in play both in Crucible and War with a full Insidious 6 Vulture Goblin team or Doc Ock team or something to that effect at that point. And that would be really scary. That would be really scary. All right. Oh, it's also important to note that Vulture's kit did not get open for Insidious 6. It is still Superior 6 is needed for him to get that speed up on spawn to his team if an enemy were to have one. So there's some interesting gates going on. Maybe this team would be too powerful otherwise. Not from this ability, but maybe from Hobgoblin and Superior Spider-Man's abilities. But we're going to have to wait and see on that. But as it stands, this ultimate, I like it. It's very powerful. It's obviously going to be huge in raids to get the duration of Safeguard off of whatever enemies are coming at us out the gate. And we're definitely going to be using this ability quite often. Then there's the passive. I love this passive. This is very cool. On turn, apply bleed for 2 turns to all enemies. It's important to note that this is on his turn, not allies, not enemies, not any turn. Only on Scorpion's turn. When an enemy with a negative effect is attacked, apply bleed to 1 random enemy. If this character has 2 Insidious 6 allies and 2 other Sinister 6 allies, apply bleed to an additional 2 random enemies. When an enemy takes damage from bleed, reduce the duration of deflect, defense up, and death proof by 2 on that character, plus apply bleed for 2 turns. Lower armor and damage by 10% for enemies with bleed. If this character has 2 Insidious 6 allies and 2 other Sinister 6 allies, or 4 Infestation allies, this character and all allies cannot have their damage reduced except by offense down. A lot went into that, right? I wanted to read it first, and then we're going to touch on everything now. This passive is super strong just because of the negative effect aspect. So that second line. When an enemy with any negative effect is attacked. Let's talk about some of the characters with the Sinister Six trait. We'll start with Goblin. When he does his ultimate, he obviously gets speed bar in Crucible. He puts out trauma, he flips buffs, he puts out heal block. Pretty good, right? And then when you hit into a character that has one of those debuffs from Goblin with another fast character like Vulture, who also puts out debuffs turn one, that'll play bleed to a random enemy. If the tags work in our favor, we can mix things up, then we can have some really powerful Insidious, Sinister, Superior 6 hybrid teams, and we can get even more bleeds out there. And then when the enemy realizes damage from a bleed, it will reduce the duration of deflect, defense up, and death proof. So now he has a decay effect. Very exciting, very, very powerful stuff. Plus more bleeds. By the way, he's got to be a striker, right? We got 3 bleeds on the special, 3 bleeds on the ultimate. Now just how many bleeds is he getting here? It's crazy. So, I mean, just look at the kit. When an enemy takes damage from bleed, decay these things, and also apply bleed again for 2 turns. So it's bleed forever, unless they can find a way to either dispel or decay that bleed off. It's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool stuff. Let's talk about the implications of this character and his other team. So more Infestation changes coming. Yes, you should go check out the video I just did on the blog about the Infestation changes coming. We have post-Ares stats coming to the entire team. A couple reworks on Swarm and Big Time Spider-Man. We'll see if that's going to make them no longer susceptible to some of the hard counters like Nowhere, like, oh, what else do we use there? I think we use Sinister 6 gets used there. I think they'll be fine because they're going to have the new stats now. So we're going to see if that team is going to be worth the investment, or it could be another pass. Honestly, I really like what they're doing lately. We just got word of the Secret Warriors coming. We now have the Infestation getting revitalized, but none of these teams are going to be make or break. None of these teams are going to have that Conquerors tag. They're not going to be used for the Blast Star Red Stars. They are optional teams, and what it's doing is it's going to start changing rosters. Not everyone's going to have the same roster, because maybe I'm going to build into the Infestation because I value war defense and they can no longer get beaten by Nowhere. And maybe you're going to go in on the Secret Warriors because you really value war offense more. And it's going to change things up because there's no way we're going to have enough gold or training materials to level up all these characters. And I think that's okay. Look, I love what they've been doing lately. Those 2 teams are a good example. All the various Sinister 6 hybrids that we can make is a good example. The Hellfire Club is a good example, right? Akurus getting Azazel, Immortals getting Rachel Summers, Sebastian Shaw and Emma being this like really powerful duo all over the place. The fact that they are really kind of breathing life into all these teams and people can pick and choose which one they want to invest in is going to give people different tools when they face each other. And that is a more exciting game, in my opinion. But more Infestation changes come. Make sure you go check out that video. And then is Superior 6 back? It's Superior Spider-Man. Give him the Superior 6 tag. Please, that'd be so cool. But even if not, I think just with the pure stats of somebody that is going to be post-Ares, a brawler like Scorpion who's going to have all these bleeds, who would work so well with early debuffs going out there, I really like the idea of Superior 6 Vulture, who's going to have new stats, and Scorpion. Even if we can't tap into that really powerful ultimate, because that ultimate wouldn't happen turn 2 anyway unless Shocker was on the team, I'm not too worried about it, right? Although, no, I'm not gonna say. I just say like Doc Ock can summon a Shocker, so there could be some interest there. But no, let's get ahead of ourselves. We need to wait until we see the tags for Hobgoblin and Superior Spider-Man. I think Sinister 6 is going to be impacting the game just as much as they did when Green Goblin was released, and that is very, very exciting stuff. Let me know what you guys think about Scorpion's kit and about the direction they're kind of taking with all these new teams spreading out. Which team is your current favorite? Which one are you going to be building up? Which are you most excited for? And how are you enjoying Marvel Strike Force? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Go check it out. It was a really good one.